Norway has always been among the top destination options for immigrants. The high quality of living, education, and employment opportunities make it a bright opportunity for everyone, including software engineers. Do you want to know how to immigrate to Norway as a software engineer? Watch this video till the end to find all of it. Hey everyone, I'm Behnam from the Visa Library. You'll get the latest visa news and updates with us. Before I begin, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell, and download the free cheat sheet my team has prepared from the link in the description. Now, let's begin. Let me ask you this. Are you eligible to immigrate to Norway as a software engineer? You must have some features to be qualified. I'll tell you all of them. The first requirement is having related education and, more importantly, work experience. You must work hard in Norway's tough job market. The best in the world compete with you, so your work experience must prove that you can handle the job. Gather as much as work experience, skills, training courses, and anything that you think helps you get better. Also, your CV must be relevant to your future employment and prove that you can do the job. Remember that Norwegian officials will check your CV to ensure you are appropriate for the job position. The second requirement is having a job offer from a Norwegian employer. You must get the job offer as it's the first step in the application process. You must sign an employment contract with the Norwegian employer as well. I'll tell you why you need the contract a bit later. The third requirement is a work permit. The work permit is permission to work in Norway as a non-EU national. You won't need a work permit or work visa if you're an EU national, but the non-EU applicants must get a work permit. Only when the Norwegian government approves and issues the work permit, you as a software engineer can apply for a work visa. The fourth requirement is language proficiency. This item depends on the employer and the company you work in. English is common, but you might have to speak Norwegian, so you would better work on your language fluency and improve yourself. Remember that you'll have an interview with the employer to get the job offer. You must persuade him or her to hire you, and it is only possible by speaking fluently. You must be able to show your skills and abilities and be able to communicate well with your co-workers in the company. The fourth requirement is being admissible to leave your home country and enter Norway. You as a software engineer must be able to leave your home country. It is required to have a passport and have no criminal convictions to get out of your country. Also, you must be able to enter the EU and Schengen area, so a clean record certificate is needed and you mustn't have done any illegal act to be banned from entering the EU. Remember that Norwegian security officials access a huge database. It's easy for them to check your background. Try not to hide anything in your application or deceive them. It will be against you and will have heavy repercussions. The sixth item is work visa. Apart from the work permit, you must apply for a work visa. You will have to prepare a list of supporting documents for it and apply to the Norwegian embassy or consulate. There are several requirements with the work visa and you must prepare all of them. The work visa is permission to enter Norway, so you must be able to get it. Alright then, I'm done with the eligibility principles. Now you wonder how to begin the procedure. Stay a bit longer. Your first move is to work on your language proficiency and gather proof of work experience. You should also prepare a well-defined resume to show your skills and abilities. Then you must begin looking for a job offer. There are various web ways you can use to get a job offer. You can look for positions through websites that advertise job positions. Websites like Indeed, Jobs in Oslo, The Local, Randstad, and other ones. There are also employment agencies and recruiters that you can get help from. They introduce you to employers and companies, but before anything, ensure they are legal and have the required certificates. You can find a list of them in the Visa Library article again. There is another way you can find a job in Norway as well. If you have a friend or relative in the country, you can ask them to introduce you to an employer. Choices are yours in the way I mentioned here and depend on your conditions. When you find the job offer, you and the employer must sign a work contract. It's mandatory to mention the details of the employment in the contract: tasks and responsibilities, working hours, salary, perks, location, job title, the duration of the contract or employment, and everything. The employment contract must be on the company's letterhead. You'd better ask for a verification in Norway to ensure it's not a scam. After signing employment contract, you must get work permit from Norwegian officials. It's also mandatory to fill out the UDI employment offer form. You can find the link for the form in the description. One of the sides has to apply for a work permit. It could be the employee or employer. But if the employer is going to apply, a consent letter from the employee is needed. Let me tell you this, if the employer applies for the work permit, the process will be faster. The employer needs to apply to the Directorate of Immigration website. The application begins there. You can find the link in the description again. If the employee is going to apply for a work permit, he or she must apply to the Norwegian embassy. The authorities need some supporting documents to issue the work permit. The employment contract is one of them. If the employer applies, the employee must send the documents to him or her. It takes some time until the Norwegian authorities decide on the work permit. When they issue it, a big part of the process is done. Now you as the employee must apply for a work visa. At this stage, you must collect the supporting documents for a work visa. You could begin gathering them a bit earlier to save time and speed up the process. Are you wondering what are these supporting documents? Here is a list of them. Number 1 is your passport. It must be valid over the date of your employment contract. Also, it cannot be older than 10 years ago. Number 2 is a copy of your work contract. Remember one point, it must contain the exact details of your employment as I told you. Number 3 is completing the online application form on the UDI website. When you complete the online application form, you will receive a PDF application form. You gotta print this form, complete it with your information, and then submit it along with other documents to the embassy. Number 4 is your CV or resume. Your CV or resume must indicate that you have relevant work experience. It also says you can do the job you have applied for in Norway. Number 5 is your educational documents and certificates. It could be one of these items: certificates achieved through work experience, educational degree achieved from a college or university, diploma or certificate of vocational training for at least 3 years. It must be at the upper secondary school level. Number 6 is photo. 2 photos of yourselves are needed. They must be fresh, taken in the past 3 months. The background must be white and clear. The veil, hat, sunglasses, weird mustache or beard cannot cover your head. Number 7 is the accommodation proof in Norway. Your future employer could help you with this. You must make it clear where you will stay when you get to Norway. You can provide a rental agreement or reserved hotel proof. This was a general list of supporting documents, but there will be more. When you complete the UDI online application form, it will provide you with a checklist of supporting documents. When you're done gathering the supporting documents, schedule a meeting with the Norwegian Embassy or Visa Application Center, VAC, responsible for visa processing in your home country. The UDI website tells you where to apply in your home country. You can find out how to schedule a meeting through their website. Go to the center in person and submit the supporting documents. There is always a fee for visa processing. It's about 5,400 Norwegian krone or $589, but you might have to pay more. Ask the center how much the visa costs and how they receive it. You got to pay the visa fees through a credit card or transfer it through their bank account. Remember to keep the receipt. When you're done with the visa meeting, wait for processing. It takes time until the embassy issues your visa, and they will inform you as soon as it's ready. You must send your passport to the embassy to get the visa label. When the visa is stuck on your passport, you can move to Norway. Now, how long should you wait for visa processing? The point I'm going to tell you is that there are 2 processing times. One is the work permit that the authorities in Norway issue it. The second is a work visa that the embassy or visa center issues it. So you gotta wait 2 times for a response. You'll receive an answer in 6 to 8 months at most. When you arrive in Norway, you need to register with the local immigration officials or the police. The officials at the airport will guide you. Your work permit is valid for the duration of your employment contract. It's often about 1 to 3 years, but you may extend it as long as you have an employment contract with a Norwegian employer. You must live a few years under a work permit to become eligible for PR or permanent residency, but it's achievable. If you want to bring your family to Norway, you need to apply separately to the UDI and complete the application form. The link is in the description again. Now let's answer some questions you might have along the way. The first one, is there a Norway job seeker visa to enter the country and look for a job? There is no Norway job seeker visa, but you can apply for a tourist visa if you want to look for a job inside the country. Remember that some non-EU countries do not need a visa to enter Norway. They enjoy the visa waiver program. In either cases, you can enter Norway and find a job, but remember that you have no permission to work under a tourist visa or change your status to a work permit. You can just search for the job and take part in the interviews. After you get the employment contract, you must leave Norway and apply for a work permit and work visa. You must also be wondering about your income as a software engineer. The one group that is highly paid in Norway is the software engineer. According to Salary Explorer, your salary begins from 261,000 to 902,000 Norwegian crown. But your income is up to your work experience and the company you work with and many more factors. Remember that the most important factor determining salary in Norway is work experience with the company. The longer your work experience, the higher your salary. But the salary you begin with is high enough to have a good life in Norway. The question everyone has whether English or IELTS is required for moving to Norway. The answer is up to the employer and the company you want to work with. You must determine whether English or Norwegian is required and your interview will be in which language. As I told you, you'd better work on your Norwegian language skills to ease the immigration process. Alright then, this was all you must know to immigrate to Norway as a software engineer. If you have questions, write them down in the comment section. The Visa Librart team will answer them. Before you leave, like this video, hit the bell and download the free PDF file my team has prepared. It helps you a lot along the way. You should also follow us on Instagram and Facebook to catch up the latest visa news. Thank you all for watching.